Hey, Samuel Leeds here, and I want to show you something that just blows my mind in property. You see there's two houses right next to each other. This house right here with the black door gives a total rental income of £12,000 a year. But the house next door to it, which is actually a cheaper house because it's a mid-terraced rather than an end-terraced, the house next door brings in £30,000 a year, more than double the rent. How on earth does the house next door bring in more than double the rent? Well, how it does it is because it's used as a HMO. A HMO is simply when you rent out a house, rather than renting it out as a whole house to a family, you rent it out on a room by room basis. Now, if there's 5 or more rooms rented out, we call that a HMO. If there's 3 or 4 rooms rented out, like a mini HMO, we just call that a multi-let property. And the reason HMOs are so popular now in the UK is because you can literally turn a normal house into a cash cow, something that's giving you serious money each month. And there's a few things you need to consider when buying a HMO. Firstly, you need to be like right now, we are right in the city centre. We're in Lichfield, so we are like maybe a 5-minute walk from a city centre, which you've got to be. If you're buying a property, the rooms will not rent out if you're in the middle of nowhere. If you're in some field in Wales, it's not going to work, so it needs to be close to the city centre. Number 2, if you're renting rooms out, they can't be little cot rooms because it's just not legal. If it's got 5 bedrooms or more, you're going to need a licence. So the house has to be fit. It has to be, the bedrooms have to be a minimum of 70 square feet or 6.5 metres, and you've got to have decent sized kitchen where they're going to be sharing the kitchen, half a metre of worktop space per tenant. So it's got to be a decent sized house. Don't worry about the garden, don't worry about a drive, it doesn't need any of that stuff, but actually inside, it's got to be fit, it's got to be habitable. You're going to need to have a licence for the property. So anything with 5 or more people, you're going to need to get a licence. And a HMO licence will cost you around about anywhere between sort of £500 and £1,200 that you'll have to renew every 5 years. Number 3, the house is going to have to be in mint condition. Now, I personally like to either buy properties that are already in mint condition or add a lot of value and then refinance them. But if you try and rent out a HMO, a room, and the houses are shabby and the rooms are shabby and the furniture is shabby, what's going to happen is you're going to attract shabby tenants. A dog kennel attracts dogs. So you've got to make sure your HMO is nice, is professional, so you get the best kind of tenants. Number 4 is it's got to be managed by somebody because HMOs are quite difficult to manage. So you need a letting agency in the area that are close by and happy to manage HMOs. Now, you can't just find a run-of-the-mill high street letting agency. It needs to be someone that specialises in HMO, and that's what's going to bring you your true passive income. So where would you find someone that specialises in HMO management? Well, you can look on spareroom.co.uk and you can see other people's HMOs and who they're managed by and ring them in the area, or you can Google it, or you can ask referrals, or you can go in a high street, but just make sure if you do find a high street letting agency, they really do have experience in HMOs. Ask them how many current HMOs they've got in their books and get a real understanding if they know what they're doing or not. So I've just gone into a high street and I've just said to them, hey, do you know any letting agents in this street that deal with HMOs and specialise in HMOs? And they've said that do so. I'll go in and ask. Just ask the question. Put all your cards on the table. So let's see what say. So I've just spoken to. They do manage HMOs, but then when they saw we had a camera, they got a little bit. Even though the camera wasn't on it, what happened, Nick?
I don't know, as soon as we told them that we were doing a documentary.
I said, have you got time to talk about HMOs? And they said, yeah, absolutely, come and sit down. And then I said, do you mind if we film? And then we literally got thrown out. Like they were just like, no, please leave. I said, look, I'll only film me. You know what, this is the stuff that sometimes we have to go through as camera people, documenting the journey. But it's all good. Anyway, go into letting agents, ask them. This is why it's sometimes better finding HMO managers on Spare Room maybe. Just been in Hunters, they don't do HMOs, but they were more friendly than. In fact, the manager there said he'd read my book and was a big fan, so that's kind of cool. Did you get that in video, Nick?
Didn't.
Dude, let's try Jamin. So this is it, man. This is what you have to do sometimes. I've got properties in Birmingham, so I know how they work, but what's the demand? Do they rent out quickly or do they take a while? What's the...
Demand's very strong.
Is it? So if you put 5 rooms on that road, would you expect them to go out weeks or months before they rent it out?
5 rooms inside of a month at the moment.
Okay.
On Upper St John
Cool.
Street down here, we've got one with 60 rooms in,
Yeah.
and 4 of them have gone between Christmas and this, well, last one today.
Cool. Thanks, James. Take it easy, mate. So just been into the estate agents, Jamin have told me that the demand is really strong in Lichfield. You're gonna get between 400 and 450 very easily per room, which is great. And he said that the rooms rent out really, really fast here. So I've had to literally go into all these different agents in Lichfield. I actually have my own letting agency, so if I was doing it, I wouldn't need to do that. But I'm doing this to show you what you need to do. So step 5 to conclude things is how much are you actually gonna be putting down in the first place. Now I have a rule that says £30,000 per lettable room is about as high as I'll go. So for a 4-bed HMO, 120 is about as high as I'll go. If it's a 5-bed, I'll go up to 150. In Lichfield, isn't that possible? Maybe, if you know how to get a below market value deal, which I do on some of our other videos, you can check those out. So that's basically it. Make sure that the property's in good condition. When you rent it out, there's at least 4 lettable rooms. There's a HMO management company in the area. You're buying it at the right price. And lastly, it's very close to the city centre like these properties are. I hope that's been helpful. Don't forget to stay tuned for our next video. God bless, peace out. I hope you enjoyed that. The stuff we put ourselves through. You know what, bringing this guy around with me in Lichfield, with this big thing, people freak out, man.
They don't like it.
When people see there's a camera, they think that you're there to like trip them up and expose them on some secret documentary. Most people that are successful in property, they keep their cards close to their chest. They're like, you know, people say, how do you do property? They're like keeping it close to I teach you guys everything and put myself through this.
Everything.
So you better freaking subscribe, man. You better going around with this camera, like it is not easy, trust me, but I want you to see how it's done in the real world. So subscribe right now. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.